You're tired of the same old law of attraction type videos, the same old visualization technique videos. You've created a vision board that didn't work. You created a second vision board, didn't work. You've read The Secret. You've watched Joe Dispenza. None of this has worked, that you have lost faith that you have any control over your life and that your thoughts actually affect things. If this is you, then stay tuned for this video. This video is exactly for you to decode what it means to visualize correctly and what we've been doing wrong, what you could do right, and just figure out the science to this so you actually get back that belief and get back to the on track to your ideal future, because we do have control over our life. You're just not that great yet. So without further ado, I'm Miles. I go by Salem. This is another day leveled up. This is day 4 of the 30-day series of no cuts, no edits. That's why this video is vertical. But let's get into it. So, visualization. We all hear about it. It's the fast track to get the relationship of your dreams, the financial means. We want the quick fix. That's what we want. You know, everyone has been sold this dream that we can have whatever we want. And this is true. But there are steps, and it's not going to be someone coming knocking on your door because you wrote a vision board and you're just sitting at home. You know, you have to put yourself out there. And what a lot of us fail to realize is that we have to take notice and be conscious of our emotions. Things come down to feeling. So there is a thing called the consciousness scale. You could look this up, and on this scale it will show down to fear to enlightenment, and I think there's about 15 or so different types of emotions where you could see where you are resonating. So everything in our life is on a vibrational frequency, including our thoughts, how we think of ourselves, this car that I'm in. You know, there's so many things going on at the same time, but we have to be a creator in our life and be in charge. We have to be in charge of the frequency that we're emitting. So realize that everything is a frequency and that we have to match that frequency to actually get that reality. So you have to realize that despite the external world and what you see, once you have this belief and are fully confident on the feeling and eliciting that emotion, only then will the world match your frequency. And this is not woo-woo spiritual type thing. This is actual physics. You could hit a tuning fork on another. You could hold a tuning fork right here and hold another tuning fork here. And if I ding one of them, the other tuning fork will start to ring at the same frequency. We are the same. This is why majority of the time that the people that we hang out with, they are people that we resonate with. You know, when you don't resonate with someone, it's just like water and oil. There's no way you're going to get through to that person. If we want that frequency, if we want that type of reality, we have to turn the dial as like on a radio station and match that frequency. So how do we do that? What we have to realize and maybe go back to is ancient civilizations have been figuring this out and have known this for the longest amount of time. Back to Egyptians, back to Native Americans. I'm sure we've all heard about rain dances, for example. Some people hear about this like, no, there's no truth to that. You know, these were just crazy people living off society, outside of a society, and trying to just live some woo-woo life. But that's not the case. So when you study what these Native Americans were doing when they were doing these rain dances, they weren't doing this out of lack. They weren't waking up and actually asking and pleading, begging for rain, for more water for their crops. What they were doing were feeling as if the rain had already come, and actually feeling the rain underneath their feet as there's mud underneath their feet as if it already rained while they're doing these rain dances, feeling as it already happened. Yes, you could say fake it till you make it. Oh, that's woo woo. Don't live in a life where you're just living some fake life, but that's not the case. What you have to do is you have to hold that energy long enough. And the more people that were to do it, the more powerful it's going to be. So that's why they would do it in these big circles and ceremonies, because it had more of an effect on the world around them. So what you have to realize is that they were tapping into their emotion. They weren't just sitting there thinking, being silent, and not allowing this to actually resonate with them. So at the end of the day, what you have to focus on is, what emotion are you resonating at? What frequency on that consciousness scale are you at? And go from there. So to actually visualize correctly, what you need to do is find how to elicit that emotion. If it comes down to music, if it comes down to watching your favorite show, going out on a run, going out into nature, but getting to a point that you feel a shift inside of you, that is when you know that you are visualizing correctly. Because if you're just sitting there daydreaming, you've done it for 10 minutes, and you're like, I did it long enough. Sometimes you got to do it until you feel something. My grandma used to say, pray until you feel something. Prayer is the proper way to visualize. That's what visualization is. Prayer is not about begging. Visualization shouldn't be about begging either. Prayer, proper prayer, is feeling grateful before what it is you're asking for has arrived. That is how you pray correctly. We've been led to believe by the church and all these other types of preachers that you need to come to church and beg and put in an offering and pay your tithes. And yes, there's some truth to that. Yeah, you want to be treating people in a certain way, but you don't need to actually, there's nothing that you could give God and the universe more than becoming the person who is worthy of what you're asking for. Only then are you actually giving to God and giving yourself up. You need to make sure that you are building yourself up into someone that is valuable, So I think what we all do and go wrong is we have all these dreams and aspirations, but we're not willing to put in the work to actually be the person who is worthy of what we're asking for. There's a lot of people on social media you'll see, and you're like, how did that person gain that amount of following? How did that person be found? And why is that person famous? And I guarantee if you ask them, they probably have a unwavering belief that they deserve what they have. They feel like they've earned it. You may have not felt like they have, but it's not up to you. It's up to the person who is trying to experience that reality, whatever it is. If it's the relationship, finances, a career, you need to focus on sitting down, taking time out of your day to anchor in the state of the person who is worthy of what you are asking for, and anchor yourself, get yourself on that vibrational frequency so you are on that same plane. If you don't have what you want, you're not on that vibrational frequency. When you start to raise your frequency and start to level up, it will feel like you're in another reality, like you're in an alternate dimension. You don't understand how certain people are having these types of problems. You don't know why someone can't hold a relationship, can't get the job that they're asking for. It's because they are allowing this emotion of not feeling worthy of what they're asking for. They're walking around. That is their reality. You are literally living in a separate reality than them if you just don't resonate. I hope this is making sense to you guys, and bring clarity to this situation. It's not as simple as visualizing. You have to elicit that emotion in yourself. And that's why you got to start with gratitude. It's easier to move and have that momentum of feeling worthy and not being in a needy state when you are grateful to start the day, rather than waking up, looking at your vision board, looking at everything that you don't have, and then getting in this emotional state of lack when you first start. That's not how you want to start your day. You want to start it with gratitude. If it's a journal, if you wake up praying, just being thankful for what you have. Allow that vibrational frequency to have that momentum to get you to where you need to be. Then, only then should you start visualizing. I like to think of it as you shouldn't even really be trying to start your day until you get into that mode, because I challenge you to get into that mode of gratitude and visualizing what it is that you're actually asking for, and then go about your day. You'd be amazed by just the opportunities, the people that you meet. It almost seems like the world is trying to help you attain what you want. And that is the case, because it has no choice but to show up and match the frequency that you are emitting. It's why you always, when you hear people who have these bad days, it'll just snowball. And there's people that you may know that just have the worst luck. Everything that happens in their life, like, how does that even happen? And it's like, when you know this, it makes sense. I just challenge you to dive deep and look into the science of these things and match it up. Don't just take my word for it. Match it up with scripture. Do your research and see where this lines up. If this was not real, then there would not be people living out these lives that you don't feel that they deserve. They feel like they deserve it. So I hope this resonated with you guys and got you some clarity on this situation. There's more videos to come. I enjoy doing these videos, and I like getting back into this no cuts, no edits type thing, because it challenges me as well. And I'm here just to help you guys out. The player ones, we are all player ones in our lives. And if this resonated, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you would like me to speak about as well. I'm going to have to be thinking about topics every day for these next 25 more days. And I'm able to do it, but it would help to actually give you guys what you are wanting as well. So, as always, just know that a belief may be comforting, but only their true experiences have become liberating. Grant yourself permission to level up. Until next time, it's your boy Salem. I'm out.